Three, two, one. We are live.
All right, everyone. No, there isn't a problem with your screen, but are you ready for a big reveal? So what do you think? We've been working our way towards building a Lady Death. I have become Lady Death now. So I'm so happy you guys have been following me on this process. You can see what a time-consuming process it is. But now I want to take you a little bit more into, rather than the getting ready part of it, more of the being it. So yes, there is something very different between the getting ready process and actually being in a costume. And it's kind of one of those funny things to walk at a con because, you want to be there, you want to be personable, you want to be with people, but I also want to be Lady Death, who, is not always the most friendly all the time, but that's kind of the fun of her charm. So a lot of times it is getting into that persona. If you can see, everything from mannerisms to the way I hold myself, the way I talk, all of that changes when, a costume goes on. It's those things that make all the difference. So, for Lady Death, I have to think about what is she? Who is she? What kind of person would she be? And so for me, I envision her having more of a sultry voice. It's a little bit lower than my normal. My normal's up here. Now, Lady Death is a little bit more down here. She's more composed, more put together, except of course when she gets angry. But those are all the things that make those differences. She's always very regal. So it's how do you stand? If normally you stand, slouched or poised, however, she's going to be much more impressive. I'm going to, strike a pose, so to speak. All of those things are the things that I try and embody whenever I become my character. And, you guys got to see, you picked all of the pieces that went together into my costume today. So it's kind of fun getting to put together what look I'll have on today. I've got my scythe. I've got also all the other props as well, because especially for photo shoots, I like having options. That for me is always kind of the fun. So even though we're just going to stay right in here today, I'm going to show you guys a little bit about how do I do a photo shoot? How do I approach that thing? So, simple poses, knowing how I want to stand, how I want to present myself. I'm always looking at just changing, even if it's something so subtle. The difference between, a head nod here and a head being here can make all the difference in a picture. So, I'm always thinking, what's the best angles? What's the best views? How do I turn my body so that it becomes, as appealing as possible? All of those things, do I want to be more, close up? Do I want to come for the camera? All of those things make it so much fun.
Yeah, Phil says perfection in the transition. Comic says awesome. Synthetic Human says you look fantastic. Sickest thing I've ever seen.
Thank you.
Yeah, does anybody have any questions on what leads to certain poses or things along those lines? Really ask away, guys. We're going to keep this one a little shorter. So we're probably going to do a 15-minute video this time. Because we got some other stuff going later tonight on the other feeds that we need to get ready for. So yeah, just ask away, guys. This is your chance. You built Lady Death here today, folks.
Yes, you guys were all a process in me becoming Lady Death. So I hope you like the end result. All of it put together.
Oh, that's
everything
weird.
From the boots all the way up to the side.
Video and a video and a video.
Oh, that's crazy. But no, usually for me, for photo shoots, the things that I like is I'm inspired by the things around me. So I'm always looking at what do I have to play with, so to speak. So even things as simple as a bar, how can I lean on the bar? How can I use that to my advantage? Those things are always fun, even if it's something so simple.
Let's see here. Phil says, how much research did you do to come up with the character process?
It depends on the character. Lady Death, I've read every comic book there is. I love to go back and watch the animated movie. Just little things like that help, put me in the mood, put me in the mindset of who she is.
Move a little closer. The light's like fading out your face completely.
Is that better?
There we go. That's much better. Now we
Yeah,
can
you
see
can see.
clearly.
But yeah, it's always, for some it's, just reading the source material. For others, it's, looking at characters that are similar. All of those things, like I truly try to figure out who this character is. And that to me is important because that's going to completely change how I portray them. Somebody that's fun and bouncy is going to be completely different than somebody that is regal and majestic the way that she is. All of those things, they're...
Just trying to show everybody all the armor and stuff.
Yes, can you see?
Let's see here. How does it feel to be dead, says Key Comics.
It feels amazing. I've never felt better.
Any advice for someone who's considering getting into cosplay?
Honestly, do it. That's the best advice I can give for any cosplayer is just start. We don't all start with perfection. In fact, we never achieve perfection. There's always room to grow. There's always new tasks to be learned. So it is daunting a lot of times to see people that, that have been doing this for, as long as I have, and, have worked with so many different props and mediums and styles and everything that, it can be overwhelming. We didn't start that way. In fact, I can tell you the story of my very first, the one I quote as my first cosplay ever. It was when I was 15 years old and Lord of the Rings had just come out in movie theaters, and I wanted to be an elf. And so I grabbed an old prom dress and I tried to make a cloak, and I went to the theater as an elf, and it was terrible. It was amazing, and I thought it was the greatest thing I had ever done in my life. But now I look back and it was not a good costume, but that's where we started.
Let's see here. Banana Cake Sapphire is the best model, 11 out of 10. Beldeck says she looks so different now. Rocky Big Rock says hi.
Hi.
Key Comics says you have massive personality. You ever considered acting?
I actually do some acting. I've done a couple little movies. I've done a lot of stage acting. I love singing. I love dancing. So I appreciate the compliment. That to me is a huge compliment, because that to me is the difference between a good cosplayer and a great cosplayer, and it has nothing to do with the costume. It's how can you transform yourself into somebody different. In fact, the thing that truly I think is the greatest compliment I've ever gotten is when I go to different cons and see, the same people again, and they go, "Oh, I didn't recognize you." Amazing. That means I did my job well. If you can, clearly tell who I am, costume to costume to costume, when I am supposed to be vastly different people, then I've done something wrong. I need to change it up. So really, I will look at something so simple as, again, makeup, of course, that'll change. Costume, of course, will change. But I look at, again, how do I use my voice? How do I use my stance? How do I walk? All of those things will change between the character depending on who that character is. My walk for a Lady Death, is going to be much more regal. You can, hardly even see I'm moving. I look like I'm floating even.
Helps they can't see your legs too.
No, it's great. That's why it's even better. No, but something like a Starfire might be more of a bouncy walk. They're all different. And so that's what makes it great.
Okay, Phil says, perfection achieved. You truly have brought the character to life, and I, as a sworn fiend, thank you for doing so.
Oh, thank you. I always appreciate the compliments, and, truly, I can't say thank you enough to the fiends. Like, you guys are all the greatest people, and, I am so touched to, even be a part of something like this. Like, it really is so amazing. Sorry, I'm getting all choked up here now.
She can't cry in the makeup, people.
I know, you guys, you can't make me cry because this, Lady Death has meant something so important to me for so long before I ever, really got into, the Coffin Comics family, so to speak. And, you know, I thank you so much to Brian and Fran for allowing me this opportunity. So, you know, those things, those really do mean the world to me. So thank you guys. You know, I will, you know, continue to do my best to embody this, you know, woman that I see as perfection. So the fact that you guys think I can even come close means a lot to me.
Awesome. So where can everybody find you?
So you guys can find me always, you know, social medias. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. It's always Sapphire Nova Cosplay. I keep it nice and simple. You guys can also find me a lot on Superheroes, Superheroes Unlimited. So you can check out their Facebook and Instagram, as well as some of our other amazing models, some of which have been commenting here today. Yay! Go Banana Kid Cosplay and Unicorn Princess. So, you know, there's a lot of places to find me. You can find all my other work. You can see some of my other versions of Lady Death in action. You guys will even be able to see a picture or two from today on the stream here. But I'm just kind of looking around. And this is what I do for a photo shoot, is I always look to see what's here to play with. And I always say play, because that's how I view it. So, like, you know, again, I might have fun. I don't know how the lighting is over here, but, you know, having fun on a bar top, that's always fun for me. I always love doing things here. Can you see?
We can kind of see you. We can kind of see you.
But, like, those are the things, you know, again, I bring my skull to play with. I always look for fun, you know, different ways to look at things. But that's truly the way I go about photo shoots, is making sure that, you know, how would Lady Death interact in this environment? You know, again, she would be in command of everything. There's never a time when she's not in charge. So it's always very that commanding stance, presence. You know, that's why a lot of pictures I like to really stare down the camera. Not that you can see with the, you know, my contacts in, but you still get that feeling.
You want to hold up the sword over on this side so people can see it better? And
yeah, you can see. So again, you know, anything you.
I spent 5 minutes trying to get that flame to stand up on its own, and she just moves the sword and it stays.
That's because I am Lady Death. I might take out a skull here. King's skull is going.
Come closer so they can see it.
I don't die. The other thing you have to be very aware of, I have lots of spikes, like my leg armor likes to catch on everything. So I have to be careful how I move through areas. But, you know, again, you know, even just changing how you stand. The difference between a good photo and a great photo. Again, I can stand here and hold my sword, and it can look cool. Or I can, you know, do a lunge, maybe more of a twist of the body, more of an angle, making sure that beautiful work is shown. And now there's a better photo. So, you know, it's so simple to take something from good to great by just, you know, little differences. Variations in the body, those are all like so subtle. Again, something straightforward, not terrible, but, you know, a little twist, a little curve. Now suddenly it's something more beautiful.
Okay. Well, then we're probably going to wrap it up here. So, oh, the flames. Yes, we got to have the flames.
Play with the last. So yeah, again, I like having different props because they all invoke something different. You know, the scythe is big and bold. The sword is, you know, is playful and fierce. Whereas these flames, they're to me just fun. I love playing with these. So I can use them in so many different variations.
Come closer, maybe we can get the, there we go.
I want to see them.
Yeah, the light in this room is not the best, folks.
Yeah, that is one thing with photo shoots. You want to make sure you have good
that's
lighting,
good right there. Hold that pose. Yeah, like, come out really good.
There you are. But no, I hope that, you know, helped you guys see a little insight. You guys have been great, you know, following me all day into the process of becoming Lady Death. You can see I have left Saphire behind, and now there is only Lady Death. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I am Sapphire Nova Cosplay with Superheroes Unlimited, and thank you for joining us here at Coffin Comics Con Online.